Hello and welcome to Fair Rugby on Fair Sports. For today's Champions Cup round of 16 review, two South African sides have booked their spot in the final eight. One South African side departing the competition in the form of the Bulls, and a very interesting last eight draw as the coastal sides will sort of carry the South African flag and the baton into the challenge, or Champions Cup rather, quarterfinals, which will take place this weekend actually. So no sort of real sort of time, to really get things going. They sort of back in action, and both the Sharks and the Stormers actually traveling away for what are going to be two very, very big games. Before we sort of look at exactly what happened over the weekend, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. This is some of the results, and it all started with Leicester Tigers taking on Edinburgh on Friday night. A man of the match performance by Jasper Wiese. A brilliant try, he did score, a marauding run. Andre Pollard as well, looking back to his best, and very good news for South African fans. And I think Leicester, it's Edinburgh's a strange side, because I think you look at them on paper and you think, well, the side should be doing better. They should be doing better, but Leicester Tigers are a stacked side. They've won the Premiership recently. They're one of the better sides in Europe, and probably one of the competition favourites. And really good to see the likes of a Jasper Wiese, Andre Pollard being so pivotal to their performances. So that was also a good start then. Then we had the Sharks hammering Munster 50 points to 35, an emphatic second half performance from them. And is this the turning point? Is this that one game which is really going to galvanize them and sort of really sort of take them to the next level? Or is it a bit of a fluke or whatever? Because the problem has always been consistency, isn't it, when it comes to the Sharks? The issue is never the fact that we're not doubting whether they've got the quality or not. It's whether they consistently do it, which is what they've been struggling with. So hopefully this will be a bit of a landmark occasion for them. They can kind of sort of take it up to the next level. Stormers then beating the Harlequins. A very impressive defensive performance from the Stormers. Harlequins did look like they were coming back towards the end of the second half, running a couple of tries, but some very good moments from the Stormers. And I tell you what, they're a side who, because of the way they play their rugby, it's such a brave sort of nothing to lose, everything to gain type of attitude. I'm very interested to see how far they go in the competition, because I do think they're a side that will back themselves against any side out there. And I do think that playoff rugby is a strange thing. You can get yourself into semi-finals, finals, and anything can happen. You just need that one sort of perfect performance at the right time, and you could find yourself lifting silverware. Then probably the clash of the weekend was Builders' clash of the weekend. Leinster versus Ulster. The packed out Aviva Stadium. Leinster just too strong at the end of the day. And I think we kind of always expect Leinster to win. Ulster got a good side. They've got a good side and some very good players. And it would have needed a very big performance from them. But Leinster, I think, with so much to prove after not winning the Champions Cup or the URC last season, are probably very much pushing for to do the double this season. And so many players playing with so much confidence, given the fact that Ireland has come off a Grand Slam victory. They're going to be a tough side to beat at the best of times. So it's no shame in Ulster in going down to Leinster, but I think it was a very big opportunity for Ulster to try and do something quite special. We then had La Rochelle taking on Gloucester and getting past them. It wasn't the easy game, so sneaking past them, the current champions, but getting the job done, which I suppose is the main thing. And good to see some really interesting results, especially in the ex-Chiefs Montpellier, who were drawn or tied after 33 points apiece after the AT extra one on having scored more tries, which is quite a controversial thing, because some people were saying that last year, when he went to a penalty goal situation, that people were saying that they didn't really like it. Now a lot of people saying, well, why should tries determine it? So I don't think it's really a right or a wrong way. Some people say play a bit of extra time. But how much extra time do you then play, and what are you play sort of golden try, or golden points, first 4 points or whatever. So it's an interesting though. I mean, we don't see draws very often in rugby, so it's not something that has always. It's not something that's very prevalent, in terms of, especially within playoff rugby, because there's not a lot of playoff rugby. So it's an interesting one, but that debate will continue to rage on. The Bulls recorded their 10th consecutive loss across all competitions as they got hammered by Toulouse, 33 points to 9, which was kind of sort of inevitable. I think a lot of people were expecting it, but problem times for the Bulls. And Jake White is sort of a coach that has measured on these kind of games, where he's got the ability to try and cause the upset. They went to Leinster last year and beat Leinster. So this was always sort of a slight, maybe, just maybe, he could be the right person to be able to do it. A lot of people complaining about referee decisions for that. I think at the end of the day, 33 points to 9. I understand that some sort of calls, might be sort of 50-50. People might not appreciate them, but I think they were well beaten at the end of the day. It showed the gulf in quality between the two squads, the two sides, and kind of shows you, I suppose, where certain teams are in Europe and where we are. And it's nice to sort of have that sort of asset test to understand exactly how far behind. And then the final game of the weekend saw the Saracens beat Ospreys 35-20, bringing into what was a dream Ospreys campaign, really sort of fighting above their limits or their sort of expectations. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, their journey did come to an end. So we then move on to quarterfinals. This is how we will match up this weekend in the quarterfinals. First up, Leinster versus Leicester Tigers, Friday, Aviva Stadium in Dublin. This should be an absolute cracker of a game. Hopefully Andre Parler is going to really sort of step up, no Johnny Sexton, for example, so we won't have that sort of matchup. But very cool to see, Jasper Wiese potentially, against the Caelan Doris if he's fit, or Jack Conan. I think this should be probably almost the game of the weekend. Then the Sharks have got the biggest task, haven't they? They are taking on Toulouse, who are, that squad is just so stacked. It's half the French team at the end of the day, and probably the favourites in the competition. So this would be a bit of a miracle if they were to be able to do it. But coming off the 50-point, scored against Munster, they'll be full of confidence. And we talk about how the fact that they've got half the French team. Well, the Sharks got half the Springbok team. So so much international quality which will be on display. It is over in France, which gives them the edge. But hopefully the Sharks really pitch up and make a game of it. Then Exeter Chiefs versus the Stormers. I'll tell you what, I can see the Stormers doing this. Yes, Exeter Chiefs will probably bring in a whole bunch of players who hadn't travelled when they sort of played in South Africa, but the Bulls hammered Exeter, for example, when they came down. It wasn't the worst Exeter side, and I think the Stormers side will go in there and go, you know what, we can actually beat this team. And again, as I said, you win a quarterfinal, you get yourself to a semi, and anything can happen. And then La Rochelle versus Saracens. These are all fantastic games, isn't it? It's exactly the sort of games we dreamed of when we were included. Now, unfortunately, as we said, we weren't going to be playing any home games from this stage on. From the South African perspective, they will all be away. That'll hopefully change, because imagine you had a Toulouse versus Sharks, but a strong Toulouse side, playing down in Durban. That's kind of exactly the things that we dream of when we sort of went up north. So that's this weekend, and then the semi-finals will take place right at the end of the month. The final is set for the Saturday, the 20th of May. It is the Aviva Stadium. It's already been confirmed. So that is that. Let me know what you thought about the Champions Cup down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.